I love him. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same.
Experience the greatest love story of all time.
Why did you leave me?
Why did you betray your own heart?
A film by Emerald Fennell.
Heathcliff.
Kathy.
Margot Robbie, Jacob Elordi.
Kiss me, and let us both be damned.
Wuthering Heights. Original songs by Charlie XCX. Now playing only in theaters. Experience it in IMAX. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent.
We all have that dream trip we've been wishing we could go on. But too often, life, or usually price, gets in the way. That's why Priceline is here to help you turn your dream trip into reality. With up to 60% off hotels and up to 50% off flights, you can book everything you need for your next adventure. Don't just dream about that next trip. Book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com and book your next trip today.
Go to your happy price, Priceline.
You just have to trust it's a cute little guy.
Right.
Did you think it was a cute little guy, or did you know it was a dog?
Well, they said it was a monster. I think it's a dog.
So lots of takers.
This is the plaintiff, Jeanette Lathan. She says she asked the defendant to watch her dog for a few days, and now the woman refuses to return it. The defendant then gave it to her stepsister, who even had the nerve to change the name of the dog to Cody. This is America. No one has the right to do that to another person. She's outraged and has no other recourse but to sue the defendants for $300, the original cost of the dog. These are the defendants, Michelle Baylor and her stepsister, Deborah Woodard. Michelle says the plaintiff was unable to keep or care for the dog, had to get rid of it, and so she took it in. Her stepsister adopted the dog, is taking great care of it, and now the plaintiff is saying the dog was stolen and is demanding money from them? How low can you go? They're accused of dog napping.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Please see to come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn in.
Okay. Miss Lathan, you are suing Ms. Baylor and Ms. Woodard? Mm-hmm. Okay. For $300 for refusing to return a dog that you put into their care temporarily.
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
I was a few months behind on my pet fee, which is like a pet fee for your apartment complex. And so I was trying to find...
It's the first time I've ever heard that. I've heard of pet deposits.
Yes, well, I have the pet deposit. It's still on my...
Like a pet fee? Like you're paying rent for your pet?
Yes.
Every month? Like a rental fee? Every month? How much?
Every month. For Goldie, was $50 a month.
$50 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You were 3 months behind on it.
Yes.
So what happened?
Of course, then I called my mom to see if I can get a loan and get some money. If not, then I would have had to get evicted.
Because the apartment building was telling you, you got to get rid of the pet.
Right, or pay the fee.
Or pay the fee, one or the other. Okay, and are you able to get the money?
I finally get the money that week when they got the dog. That weekend.
Well, before you get, the answer then to my question is not at first, and therefore you contacted them. How do you know them?
I go to church with Michelle.
Okay, who's Michelle? All right, so you go to church with Michelle, so how do you end up giving them your dog?
Because I had told her my situation where I have to get rid of Goldie or I will be getting evicted. And I asked her if she knew anyone that can hold on to Goldie for a while or just temporarily, not even that long. I didn't even remember saying any weeks or anything.
Okay, so according to you, you asked Michelle to what?
If
does she know anybody who will take Goldie temporarily?
Yes.
Okay, you have a very different story. What is your story?
On October 10th, Jaja called me at home and told me that she was going to be evicted from her apartments with the kids on Monday if she didn't get rid of the dog. So I told her, I said, well, I can't take the dog, but I'll gladly see if I can find someone for you. Strangely enough, my sister was interested in taking the dog.
How did you call your sister?
No, I put a sign up on the bulletin board, and my stepsister called me and she said, this is your phone number. You don't have a dog. What's going on?
Wait a minute. So you were calling about the dog. What did the notice say?
It's something like, I'm a cute little guy, and I need to find a home because my mom can't afford to pay the rent for me. I'm looking for a good
Did you have
home.
a picture of the dog?
No, I didn't.
Okay, you just have to trust it's a cute little guy.
Right.
Did you think it was a cute little guy, or did you know it was a dog?
Well, they said it was a Maltese.
I think it's a dog.
So lots of takers. All right, so you call, and it's her, and what does she tell you?
She tells me that, it's a friend of hers from church that she's been trying to help out, has a dog. It's a Maltese, and I said, I had a Maltese, and I have, and I lost my other dog 3 years ago, and that's why I showed interest. I'm now ready to take on another dog.
Okay. So you call her back and you tell her that oddly enough, your stepsister saw a notice,
Right.
and then what?
She told me that she had someone that was going to buy the dog for $250.
So you told her?
I told her that she needed, if she could find $250 for the dog, to go ahead and sell the dog, because I know she needs the money.
I didn't need the money. I just needed the money for the month that I
No, but
needed
is that
the
accurate
apartment.
that she said, well, my sister's not going to pay $250, so go ahead and sell it to...
No,
what?
that's not how it went.
How did it go?
That's not how it went.
Okay, how'd it go?
Yes, I didn't mean to go try and find the money by trying to sell him. When this all came out, when my family started texting me and calling me like, where's the dog? And this is just how we do our family. I haven't seen my mom and family for 5 years. We got the plane ticket ready for him to come back home. I said, well, he's out with Michelle in Claremont.
Was the dog your mother's dog?
He's our family dog, yes, ma'am. He's my mom's dog, because he's originally from California. I live in Florida with my kids.
So he's missing California.
Yes. So this is just how our family dog is.
Did she buy the dog for your children?
Yes.
And then sends the dog to you?
Yes.
And you managed to...
Keep him for a year.
And then that was that?
Then I was 2 months behind on rent.
All right. Then your mother says, ship that dog back here. We got together the money for a ticket.
Yes.
And then you tell her, I gave the dog to someone to hold and they won't return the dog.
Right.
According to you gave that dog away temporarily, not permanently.
Right.
How long did you give the dog away for?
I didn't know. I said when I get the money.
Okay.
I didn't know.
All right. And according to you, she is lying.
Yes. She never told me it was temporary. In fact, when she got in the car that Sunday morning, she told me the lady couldn't come up with the money and that my sister could have the dog. And
No, I did not.
I repeat.
Here's the thing that's bothering me about what you're saying. If you're just looking for somebody to hold your dog temporarily, why does the subject of selling the dog to a neighbor even come up? That wouldn't even be crossing your mind.
Well, I don't even understand how that came. I thought about selling it, yes, before I even spoke to my relatives, because I did need the money. Yes, if you're about to get evicted, you need money.
When is the first time that she comes to you and says, give me the dog back?
The 21st.
Of October?
As she was getting out of her car.
Of October?
Yes.
And I had the money.
Stop talking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So it had been what, a week?
Yes.
And then what happened?
9 days.
Well, actually, it was 9 days. And then I told her, I said, I can't go back to my sister. You never told me it was temporary. My sister has, groomed the dog and is taking care of the dog. And then I started getting the text messages and voicemails from her mother basically threatening me.
Okay, can I see those? If it's just you typing it up, I want to see the text messages themselves.
That's the type.
These are typed out. We could,
No, that's fine.
We do have a recording that we can play.
Yeah, let me hear
I've
the
also
recording
got
while you're getting the...
Just do the fourth one.
Excuse me, Michelle, even though none of the girls wasn't, the dog is registered to my name, so I will get my dog back. I will be in Florida. I know where you live. I know your church. This is not permanent. It's my dog that was lent to my grandkids, so it wasn't her right to give the dog away. If I have to make a order to find him, then that's what I have to do. If you want to say permanent, I will be there permanently to get my dog. If you want to make it easy, then let's make it easy. Otherwise, it's not going to be easy. My dog will be given back to me. That's what you need to think about, okay?
Okay, now I understand the insistence of saying the dog belongs to your mother because your mother is saying you didn't have a right to give away the dog.
There was one
now,
other one.
I would like to understand when that message came in.
October 23rd at 3:01.
Okay, so that's pretty soon.
Right.
So what do? I mean, did you ever think to yourself, well, I've had the dog 1 week, and maybe I should give the dog back if it's causing this kind of distress to another human being?
We did. My sister and I talked about it because there's another voicemail that's quite explicit also.
Okay, let me hear that one. Who's this one from?
The mother.
I don't know what type of crazy you are, but you don't know me. So you return my dog. I don't know what the hell $350 is for. $350 is not for boarding a dog in 1 week. Stupid. Return my dog before I get too pissed off at you. You call the police right now, you stupid.
Okay, so apparently what caused that last phone call to come is that apparently you were willing to give back the dog, but at a price of what?
$350.
Why?
Well, I had a dog groomed.
How much did the grooming cost?
Was $60.
Okay.
The dog was in very, very bad shape.
Okay.
When I
How much were you
received
out for that week?
Well, the $60.
So why wouldn't you just say, I'm trying to understand your church. I know my church. I'm trying to understand how it is that you don't say, all right, you know what? I'm out $60. Reimburse me for the grooming and I'll give you the dog back. Why wasn't that what you said?
Well, it was because of the condition of the dog. The dog was malnourished, was severely matted, and
so how is paying you $350 going to solve that?
Well, it was for the room and board.
Room and board for a week?
Boarding for the dog.
You're not a boarder.
It was $20 a day.
You had the dog for the week, and then,
but
as it turns out,
but Judge, it wasn't temporary.
If it was permanent and you were so attached to the dog, why are you suggesting the ransom of $350?
I don't call it a ransom.
Kind of sounds like one if all you spent was $60. At one point, did you agree to meet their ransom demand and pay the $350?
I felt like it was unfair, but my mom did send me $250.
So your mom sends you money, and then you're meeting with them, and you are going to pay her $350. And what happened?
They never came down, but if I had a car, I would have came up to them.
You didn't go?
She never. She told me she never had the money.
No, I had
She
the money.
told me she never had the money.
My
In
mom
fact,
is a witness to that.
I have a text message that says I have $60.
Can I see all the text messages, please?
You want them right in here?
No, I don't.
The
Can
phone?
you just get them on the phone? Can you get them up on the phone?
You guys are trying to charge me $350. Just bring my dog back.
Is there ever any confession about it being permanent and changing my mind, or no?
Yeah. On 10/23, she said, I knew that she knew what was up months ago. I'm still late on my rent. It's a done deal. Goldie is happy. Michelle, if she wanted him, she would have kept him in California.
Let me see the transcript.
Sure.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
That first week, I have to give $50 to my apartment complex.
She texts you on the 22nd and tells you that Ms. Netta, the owner of Goldie, wants to speak to you. Then she texts you, we don't have a good relationship, it's her way or no way.
Right.
Maybe I should have given him to my neighbor downstairs. Everyone needed him to go somewhere. But everyone also knew my kids would be hurt. Whatever you said to her, she responded, thanks for being there for us. So she's not saying to you, you stole my dog, why aren't you returning my dog? She's thanking you.
Right.
Then she says she knew, referring to her mother, what was up months ago. It's done. Goldie is happy. Michelle, if she wanted him, she would have kept him in Cali. I will return any funds you've put out for him for your time. Thank you. Because she must be getting a lot of grief from her mother. But why are you saying it's done, Goldie's happy? If my mother wanted him...
Because she kept saying the dog was happy.
Yeah, I know, but if somebody's stealing your dog, that's not a normal thing to say. You keep saying to your blue in the face about how it was temporary, but I hear how you were going to try to sell the dog because you couldn't afford it. I read how you send a text saying to what's done is done, Goldie's happy, exclamation point. If my mother wanted him, she should have kept him in California.
Because I was upset, Your Honor. I'm still upset because I have to deal with family members too.
Upset is... I'm going to call the police to get my dog back. That's upset. I was trying to sell him, but I couldn't get money. Then she called yelling at me. I wish the darn dog never came here to mess our life up. I can't keep him. Honest to God, truth. I'm calling my pastor on this to see what to do. Netta is angry with me. That's your mom. No, I don't care anymore and just want him gone out of our life. I don't want no drama. I'm trying to figure out what referring to your mom is doing. I know that this is becoming serious. She's supposed to send me money to rent a car to get him. You've been a great friend to us, faithfully taking us to church. I didn't want to... You would take them to church?
Yes. I take her to church. I take her to the grocery store afterwards if she got money, because the kids were always complaining they were hungry. So I made sure that if she got money, I'd take her to the grocery store. If there were events at church, I'd take her to those.
Is that true or not true?
She took me to the store a few times, yeah. She know I don't have a car.
When you talked, what was the discussion?
Well, when I talked with her, it was the end of, I think in January, she was very upset. And we both cried because we've had similar situations in the love of pets and animals that we've had. And I know she's gone through some rough times, and so have I. And I told her that, it was not temporary, and he's happy.
And so what did she say?
She said she was going to leave it in God's hands as to what she does next.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. Okay, do people use God to hide behind bad acts?
I believe they do. I think they use it as validation. Honestly, religion is a big part of everyday society. So if people say, oh, God this, God that, they're going to be like, yeah, because other people can relate to it. I think that's what I feel.
Okay, well, we're out of time, and that was a good treatise there. That wasn't just a comment. That was a treatise going inside the courtroom.
Look, I think that I pretty much have a handle on what actually happened. I think that you have a lot on your plate, and the dog that your mom had sent was becoming too big a burden. I can tell that from your texts, where it's very clear that when you pass along the dog, I do not for 1 second believe that it was supposed to be temporary. And then what happens is your mom goes nuts on you. And your mom, who you already have a difficult relationship, starts to demand that the dog, that you didn't have a right to give away the dog, that that's her dog, that she was getting the money up, that why weren't you patient? And then maybe the rest of your family's giving you grief as well, and you're exhausted. I know you're exhausted. I mean, look, having said that, it's very hard for me to listen to you say how I knew she was going through a hard time. I've been there, I've this, that, I want $350. Your actions do not speak to what you are claiming is in your soul. If you really feel pity for her, if you really feel like she was in a bad bind, if you really want to help her out, then you don't demand $350 to do it. But at the end of the day, as unimpressed with I am of the Christianity of that, okay, it doesn't matter because I still got to figure out legally what happened here. So I have to do what's right according to the law. And if I know that it wasn't supposed to be temporary, then I can't make it temporary. And I find in favor of the defendants in this case on this lawsuit, and I'm very sorry.
Well, after some tears in the courtroom, this is the plaintiff out here. What last words you want to say on this case here?
You should have just loaned me the money. You shouldn't just took the dog away. All those lies in there. And it's not so much I didn't see my mom in 5 years. I got a book coming out. My son's an actor. I go through all this for the whole year. I should have gave it to my neighbor, which understood me. Yeah, so if I try to sell it for $250, they would have turned around and said, forget the $250. Right. We'll watch Goldie. Because he's a good, cute dog, you want to take advantage of him. And he's not happy. I'm just so upset because I go to a good church in California. I have to get out of here. Justice, my...
What do you have to say about this?
I'm glad it's over.
Obviously, she cares a heck of a lot about that dog.
And we do too. He's been with us for 5 months now. And the shape that he was in, it was like adopting an abandoned, neglected dog.
You don't think she deserves to have the dog?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
She could not care for the dog.
Harvey?
Here's the thing. Plaintiff is so dramatic, pitching her act. I got to say, I'm just not buying it. That'll do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
TaxAct knows filing taxes can be confusing, so we have live experts on hand who can help answer any questions you may have. Questions like, can I claim my SUV as my home office if I answer work emails in my car? If I adopted 12 dogs this year, can I list them as dependents? And am I doing this right or am I doing this very, very wrong? Our experts have the answers to those questions and many others. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
This is the plaintiff, Elena Tarnia. She says she parked her car on the street and it got hit by the defendant's car at 5 in the morning. The defendant's claiming her car was stolen, but she believes the defendant was driving the car, is responsible for the damage to her car, and is concocting this bogus story to cover up her irresponsible actions. She's suing for $5,000, the cost of her totaled car. This is the defendant, Lacey. She says her car was in fact stolen and evidently involved in an accident with the plaintiff's car. She's very sorry the plaintiff's car got damaged, but she wasn't anywhere near the car. She's tried to explain this to the stubborn woman, but she still insists on coming after her. So here they are. Let's get it on. She's accused of smashing and dashing.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff parked her car and claims the defendant smashed it at 5 a.m. But the defendant says her car was stolen, so it's not her fault. It's the case of I'm smashed thanks to you.
Thank you, Douglas. Elena Tarnia, you are suing, you've asked us to refer to you only as Lacey? Okay, for $5,000 for a car accident that you say was her fault. Tell me what happened.
I live in Far Rockaway, and I went to my son.
I live in Far Rockaway.
Yes.
Okay.
And I went to Astoria to my son after mega storm because he didn't have electricity.
You mean after Hurricane Sandy?
Yes. I left my car there because I couldn't know how is the problem with the parking because there was a lot of flooding in Far Rockaway. And then on 16 November, my son called me in the morning at 8 o'clock and told me, Mama, your car is completely destroyed.
Did he say how it was destroyed?
Yes.
What was wrong with it?
Another car, a Ford, struck the car in front of me and my car. The other car in front of me, Honda, was completely destroyed. And the Ford went on the sidewalk and crushed the pole on the street, on the other side of the street. Yes.
And how did you know all this? Did your son hear the accident?
He heard a noise, but he didn't know because in this intersection happens a lot of accidents, you know.
So he didn't walk out until the morning and then he sees...
No. When he saw the accident, he called me. Then we went to the police in Astoria and they got the police report.
Okay, can I see the police report?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so according to the police report, the Ford hits your car and the car in front of you, and the driver of the Ford leaves the scene of the accident.
Yes.
And leaves the car behind.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right, so then by the time you get there, the Ford is gone.
Was gone and the Honda was gone because we were completely destroyed.
Okay, what year car was this?
1992.
1992?
Yes.
BMW?
Yes.
What kind?
525.
525. Okay, got it. 525. Okay. And how do you come up with $5,000 as the Blue Book value of that car?
The value of my car, I appreciate $2,500. And the stress that I got from this accident is more than $5,000, but I couldn't ask more than $5,000.
Okay, so you understand that the Blue Book value of your car is not $5,000, right?
No.
You know that, because the Blue Book doesn't even go that far back.
Yes.
All right, what happened here?
My car was stolen.
When was your car stolen?
I parked my car on the 15th. I live in Jamaica.
15th of what?
November 15.
Okay.
I came out November 16 on my way to work around 4. My car was not there.
Okay.
I had my car parked on a neighborhood driveway.
What's a neighborhood driveway mean?
It's just a driveway in my neighborhood, and since I had an expedition, it's hard for me to find parking. It's a very big car. Yeah, it's a very big car.
Okay, so you were parking in somebody else's private parking lot?
It was exceeding the limit of it. Like my car, the whole body of it was in the proper place, but some of it was still in the driveway.
Okay.
Okay. So I came
in. But that's not a community parking lot.
No.
It belongs to an apartment building you don't live in? Whose driveway do you park in?
I didn't park in a driveway. I was blocking half of it. I was blocking half of somebody's
I'm sorry I didn't catch that the first time you
somebody's...
snootily explained that. Why are you blocking half of a driveway with an expedition?
Because it wouldn't be a problem.
Because it's hard for you because you couldn't find a parking space.
It wouldn't be a problem unless I moved it before 5 p.m. That's when the person that lives there comes back from work.
Does the person who lives there know that you do that?
She's seen me, yes.
So the defendant's saying that the car was stolen, but it really wasn't stolen. Is this suspicious to you? that it was actually towed because she was parked illegally?
Yes, her suspicious.
Does that ruin her credibility?
Oh, yes, definitely. She's definitely lying.
I mean, when somebody starts lying about something this important?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean, you lie about it. You were either towed or it was stolen, but it was towed, so.
And it's a relevant fact.
Exactly.
There you go, going inside the courtroom.
She has seen you and complained to you, what the hell are you doing parking in my driveway?
No, I asked her. I was like, would it be a problem? She's like, no, because unless it's
So
not
why'd you say
blocked by
she's seen
5.
me? Instead of saying she gave me permission, which would be...
Because it's not really permission, it's just be sure that you move it by this time and we wouldn't have an issue.
So when you go out, it's not there and what happens?
I call, I place a call to 911. They come to the scenery and they tell me that they can't... Yes, I am.
Okay, swallow it.
Really?
Well, either that or spit it out. Would you like me to send a garbage can your way so that you can show a modicum of respect for the courtroom?
Thank you.
Kind of like school.
Sorry.
You know?
I know.
So you call 911.
Yes.
And do you file a stolen car police report?
I attempted to, but they told me that it was too early to file a complaint because they were saying that it probably was picked up because it was improperly parked.
So then what happens?
They told me I had to wait. So I went back home. On Saturday, I recalled them again. So they said that my car has been picked up by the sheriff's department.
Who
said
said
my
that?
plates came up. The cops that responded to my call.
Uh-huh, and then what?
They're saying that they have it, that everything is okay because I had 2 pending
Everything's okay?
tickets.
They have your car. Why would everything be
the towing
okay?
company has my car because I illegally parked it and I had 2 pending tickets. So the guy that I spoke to at the front, he was like, no, it was a misunderstanding. The marshals had it. So then they gave me the information, the phone numbers and everything. I actually called them on my times off, like the next day.
Why didn't you just call them right there while you had the cops in front of you?
Because it was late and it was closed. It opened up on Monday.
See, this is important. Do you know why this is important? Because she thinks, what is it you think, ma'am?
I called the her company of insurance. She thought that she's not involved in an accident because
she told her insurance company that she wasn't involved in an accident.
Yes, and
right?
for that reason.
She wasn't driving.
And for that reason, they don't pay me anything.
So now the insurance doesn't cover you, and she's saying to me, well, Judge, I wasn't driving it, so I'm not going to cover it either. You can't, she's just going to have to eat her damages. Now, what I got to make sure of, okay, as a judge, is what?
That the car was actually stolen.
That's right. And so you don't want your insurance to come up. You don't want to pay for her car. So what's the easiest way to do that? To say your car was stolen?
Well, not in this case. I'm just saying the truth.
Really? Because you know what I find suspicious? There's no stolen car report until you find out about the accident, which is substantially later.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I
See,
noticed it.
I don't know. Maybe call me crazy, but if I walked out and my car wasn't there, I'd assume that my car was stolen, and there would be a stolen car report. According to you, not only do the police continue to refuse to issue a stolen car report, but they tell you it's with the marshals, it's with the sheriffs, it's this, it's that. And then, as it turns out, was it ever with the marshals or the sheriffs?
No, it wasn't.
No, right? Because according to you, your version of this is that some mystery man or woman was driving your car and crashed it and left it at the scene. Probably not the marshals or the sheriffs, right? Which would mean that the marshals or the sheriffs never had your car. Which would mean that you're making up this whole thing about the sheriffs telling you that they had your car, or the marshals telling you that the sheriffs had your car, or the cops telling you that the marshals had your car. Because as it turns out, a civilian has your car and crashed it. And you know who that civilian is? You.
Okay, but no, that's not the case in this term, it's not. I wasn't driving
I have
the vehicle.
never been sure of anything.
I did the right thing. As soon as I didn't see my car there,
Then show
I
me
filed for
one
the report.
stitch of proof. Let me give
I
you.
don't know,
Let me
what
go
can I
through
show
the
you
laundry
for?
list of all the stitches of proof you can give me. You'd show me your phone records where you really called the police that day to report it stolen. You'd show me paperwork from the marshal or the sheriff that they took your car. You would have a stolen police report. You are saying this because you don't want your insurance to be canceled and because you want her to eat it. And you know what? It's kind of crappy. It makes you a kind of crappy human. You know that?
If it was me driving
Yeah,
it,
you know
I
what?
believe
Pay the
so.
lady $2,500 verdict for the plaintiff, which is the blue book value of your car.
Well, coming out on the losing end of this case is the defendant right here. What's your reaction?
What can I say? It happened.
You're standing in front of the judge. She sees right through your story. It doesn't hold together.
It's not seeing through me. She ain't like let me explain much of it. I know what occurred, and that's what it is. But I guess.
All right, head right down this way around the corner. So come on in here. All right, so how are you feeling coming out of the courtroom on this end?
Decision of the,
You happy?
yes, because
Turn this way.
I recover my
Yeah, go on.
what I asked for my car that was completely destroyed.
Okay.
Thank
What are
you
you going to
very-
do with the money? You going to get another car? or-
I want to get another because I junked this.
All right. Harvey?
I couldn't repair this.
You know, there's no smoking gun here, but there is plenty of circumstantial evidence, and that's enough to prove that the defendant seems to be a liar. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette. Join host Evan Ross Katz on the official podcast for FX's new series, Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, and go behind the scenes with cast and special guests, featuring Sarah Pigeon, Paul Anthony Kelly, Grace Gummer, and Naomi Watts. FX's Love Story, John F. Kennedy Jr. and Carolyn Bessette, wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is the plaintiff, Camille Boyd. She says she rented the defendant's single-family home for 12 years and was kicked out because the woman decided to sell it. She was supposed to receive her security deposit back 30 days after she vacated, but never received anything. She watches a lot of the People's Court, has educated herself on her rights and on the law, and is suing the defendant for double her security and interest to the tune of $1,800. This is the defendant, Gail Moore. She says the plaintiff took it upon herself to move out 2 months earlier than she was supposed to, and she didn't tell anyone. That's right, she thought the woman was still living there, and was shocked to discover she vacated 2 months earlier. Now the woman's demanding her security to be returned? Ah! She's accused of ruining a renter's day. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $1,160.91 for a water bill.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff rented from the defendant for 12 years and was kicked out because the defendant sold the joint and she can't even get her security back. But the defendant says the plaintiff bailed prematurely, so tough. It's the case of tenant interruptus.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Camille Boyd.
Yes.
You are suing Gail Moore, your former landlord, for double your security deposit, which is $550. Double that is $1,100. $482 in interest on the $1,100. Okay, somebody's math has to be questioned. And $218, the amount you spent fixing oil heaters, which you believe was the landlord's responsibility and that she needs to reimburse you for. You are counterclaiming against her $1,160.91 for a water bill for 2009 and 2010 that you have apparently just discovered. All right, Ms. Boyd, is this a house or an apartment?
It's a house.
All right, and were you the only one living in the house?
No, when I first moved in, it was my oldest son and my grandson and me.
Okay.
In year 2000.
Okay, and so how long had you lived there?
12 years.
Were you receiving government assistance to live?
Not to the last 2 years.
Okay.
Up until then, I was paying my own rent.
Okay, so on the last 2 years, what kind of assistance were you receiving?
I was approved for Section 8.
All right, so you were receiving Section 8, would pay her how much?
$86, I think. And then they reevaluated my case, and then I didn't have to pay nothing. They paid it all.
Okay, and your rent was how much? You don't know because you weren't paying it. All right, how much was the rent?
She was paying $550 a month until they took over, and then they paid me $657 a month for a 3-bedroom house. I should have been getting $957 for the house, but she only had a 1-bedroom voucher.
But you chose to go ahead and...
I went and agreed.
So you lived there for 12 years, and then what happens? One fine day, you get a letter from your lawyer, correct?
Yes.
Who informs you that that they are going to sell the place.
Right.
Now, were you just trying to get her out, or were you really going to sell the place?
No. I wasn't making any money off the house. Last year, before the housing authority...
Yeah, but you understand you weren't making money because you were charging too little, right?
I know, but
okay.
I thought I was helping Miss Boyd.
Well, that's fine, but you understand that in order to make a business work, you have to
That's why I wanted
charge market
That's why
price.
I was done. I was done
Okay,
with
but it was a good little business. It's not the business's fault. All right, so now it's time. The lawyer sends a letter. Let me see the letter.
Here's the letter.
Oh, by the way, when was the last time that you folks actually signed a written lease?
Never, till when I first moved in. Only
well,
one
no, not
lease.
never. When you first moved in, you signed
yes.
a lease, and then I think in 2011 you signed a lease too.
No.
We
Nope.
had to have the thing.
Okay, can I
No,
see?
I
all I
didn't
need
sign
are copies of all leases. Both
This
of you,
is
please
the
hand
original lease.
up
It's the
all
only lease
leases.
that I ever had. That's
I
the
don't
one.
think I have another lease.
Maybe it slipped through the cracks. So the only written lease that I have is this one. All right. So now the lawyer writes you in August and tells you she would like for you to move out December 31st. That's plenty of notice. So what ends up happening?
I end up going to Section 8 and letting them know that I had to start looking for a place, because with them you have to let them know ahead of time, and you got to go through classes, all kinds of stuff. So then they said, okay, we're going to send somebody out to inspect the house.
Why inspect the house? If they're inspecting the house, it's because you asked them to.
No, I did not ask them to.
Okay.
No.
So they come to inspect the house they're no longer going to pay rent to, and what happens?
Right, because this is the letter from them.
Yeah, and they
Repairs
violated
it.
her on a bunch of stuff. Hand that over to me.
Yes, but after I sent her the letter, they sent me a letter saying she was going to relocate in January.
Right. Show me that letter.
Saying she's leaving
Saying
in
she'll be,
January.
okay, got your letter, she'll be leaving in January. Now that's fine. But then you get this letter, which is Section 8 did a routine inspection, which is part of your agreement, or she called them in to snitch on you. Either one. I've seen both. It doesn't matter. There were violations. So you need to address those in 30 days or you don't get rent. Get it? That's part of the agreement you have with them.
Until it's fixed.
When did you fix it?
When did I never wound up
Okay,
fixing
well,
it.
what do you mean until it's fixed? Right, until it's fixed, but you didn't fix it.
Because she left.
I don't blame you for not fixing
She
the problem.
left. I was selling the house as is
I
in
know.
January, and they knew that.
I know. I think you made the right business decision, but do you
Right.
understand where my problem lies? Now, you have another reason that you don't want to return her security deposit.
Right.
And the other reason, besides rent, is a water bill, right?
Right.
All right, tell me about the water bill.
In 2008, I raised the rent from $550 to $600, and she was responsible for the water bill. She paid the water bill in 2008. She never paid 2009 and 10. I have it down here.
So if you knew about it, I'm just curious, if you knew about it, why didn't you pursue it with her? Why are you looking at her?
It was a lot of things that I didn't pursue with her. I just wanted her to find another place and be gone. And when I got this letter, I was like, she's suing me?
Yes.
So that was
What
it.
about this water bill?
It was never no agreement.
Yeah, it is. It's in your original lease. What it says is that you're supposed to pay the water bill.
No, it's not in my original.
Don't yell. I'm just going to read it to you. Utilities. Leasee shall be responsible for arranging for and paying all utilities services required on the premises. You are the lessee. You are the person paying the utilities.
Yeah, I paid gas and electric like I was supposed to. And
well, who paid the water bill all those other times?
I guess she did. I didn't know nothing about it.
Let me see the water bill.
Okay.
And if you knew that it was outstanding back in 09 and 10, why didn't you pay it and stop the interest charges from mushrooming like that, or make her pay it or get out? So you paid the water bill for all those years, and then you told her you got to pay the water bill?
I told her I had to raise her rent, which I raised $50, and I told her she had to start paying the water bill.
Which you're entitled to do. But then your behavior is kind of like she didn't know about it because you continued to let her live there even though this bill wasn't paid.
She's always paid her rent.
Okay.
She's always kept her place together.
Okay.
That's why I went along with her.
And if you knew about it, why'd you let the interest get so high?
Because I didn't have the money to pay it either.
Talk to me about this. You're also suing for $218 for the amount you spent fixing oil heaters?
Yeah, twice.
When?
Here's the receipts.
$89 in 2009?
Mm-hmm.
And $129 February of last year. So what'd you do with this bill all this time? If she owed it, why didn't you make her pay it? Why are you waiting until now to bring it up 4 years later?
Because when I couldn't get my security back, that's when I said, well.
All right. Did you two get along like really well?
Fine. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes. It's really sad because we got along fine, and I thought I was helping Camille.
Okay, so let's say, the lease is silent as to who pays the water bill. Doesn't say. Does a landlord pay or does a tenant pay if it's silent?
I think the landlord pays.
Why?
definitely, because it's not signed. It's not, nothing says in the lease. So should be the landlord.
Okay, but it's the tenant who's using the water, right? Doesn't that matter?
Well, that is not part of the contract, so.
I mean, I agree with you, it's not part of the contract, but you see what I'm saying? It's not in the lease. So, but the tenant's using the water.
No, the tenant doesn't use water, they use gas.
Well, no, but the tenant uses water.
I think it's the renter is paying for the service to be in that space, and so that's part of the stuff that comes with it a lot of the time. So at first,
you're just saying the water comes along for the ride.
Yeah,
got your point. Going inside the courtroom.
Camille, you do know that most people can't rent a house for $600.
No, but when I left
a 3-bedroom house.
I got a 2-bedroom apartment now. No, they've.
Okay, we're done. Let me tell you what I'm going to do. I have a dispute about who's supposed to be paying the water. You say she is, she says you are. So what am I going to resort to? I'm going to resort to the lease. And in the lease it says utilities, and water is a utility, okay? So, but that water bill got kind of high because you, fully knowledgeable of the fact that it's earning interest and getting bigger and whatever else, aren't paying it, which you have a duty to kind of mitigate your damages, but instead of letting it get as high as it got. So I'm going to pick a figure that I think is appropriate for the water bill that I'm going to find you to be responsible for because of the lease. And that figure is going to be a little rough justice of $900. Now, she has a security deposit that is on your side. The security deposit is $550, but the security deposit also requires having interest paid on it. Now, I don't know how you figure that $550 becomes $482 in interest, so I'm calculating the interest appropriately, and that would put your $550 to $682. I see that you spent money on fixing oil. Unless you have proof that she gave you less rent, then that is something that I've just got to go by the lease. So that's $218, which added to $682. Would you look at that? It's exactly $900.
Amazing.
Oh.
What were the odds?
Guess it's the truth.
The odds are actually quite good because I'm the one who's doing the math. Ladies, listen to me, okay? You're not going to get that security deposit back because you owe on the water bill. And you're not going to get the water bill because you owe on the rent, meaning that you don't get to have that rent because of the whole repair issue. If I were in your shoes, I would have done the same thing because I'm not going to pay $4,000 in repair when I'm selling it as is. But you need to understand then why you're not getting rent for those other days because that's part of your agreement with Section 8. All right, good luck to you both. Hope you can put this behind you and move on. I don't think you're going to be a landlord anymore, right?
Oh, no.
You never do that. All right,
Never.
I hope you're happy in your new place.
Thank you.
Well, the landlord's first out of the courtroom, or the former landlord anyway. What's your feeling on this ruling from the judge here?
I think it was fair. Some of it was not true, and she knows it wasn't. But
what?
She knows that I didn't know her for the heater, fixing the heater. But
you guys got along fine for such a long time.
I really like her. She's a really nice woman.
When did it start to?
When I got the letter, could have come to court. But I'm glad it's over.
How's life?
And I wish the best for her.
How's life without being a landlord now?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. All right. Right around the corner. Officer McIntosh will join you in a moment. All right. Step on in here. You satisfied with this ruling?
Yes, I'm satisfied because you know what? She has to answer to somebody higher than Judge Meliana and me. She got to answer to God because she knows she lied.
Harvey?
Okay, so the tenant did repair things here, replace the water heater and whatnot. It raises a really important issue, whether you can repair an item in an apartment and then deduct it from your rent. Most states allow that, but there are limitations on when you can do it and when you can't. There are some states that say only if the repair exceeds 1 month's rent. Before you do it, check your law, because if you do it wrong, you can be evicted.